the way we start our shows every week is that we start with a small win. So, you know, everybody celebrates their big wins. Everybody celebrates all the things that, all happen in the big parts of the journey. But we like to celebrate the small wins and things that, help us get to the next step. So, what would you say is your small win for this week?
Um, for this past week, small win, I was able to get back into my own yoga practice.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I had injured my knee, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Funny, crazy accident. So I was still doing yoga, believe it or not, but I'm a yoga instructor, so I was just doing the bare minimum as far as teaching my classes. I wasn't able to go in depth for myself. So
Mm.
being able to get on my mat again, I needed it for my own mental. So yeah, that.
That's what's up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's dope. That's important. Getting that flexibility, as they say. Health is wealth. I was about to say backwards. Health is wealth, and so the fact that you're able to, get into that is amazing. So,
Exactly. That's all I'm
congratulations.
about. Health and wealth.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Damn. What is my small win for the week? You know what? I bought some new bed sheets, and I'm excited to go lay down on them.
Yes.
That's my
Yes.
small win for the
Oh,
week.
that's an amazing win.
Uh,
New bed sheets.
New bed sheets,
Yeah.
fresh.
Nice.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go home and tuck them under the sheets.
Yeah.
It's so fresh. You gotta take a shower just before you lay
Just
down.
I know
Like
exactly
you
what you're
can't
talking
do
about.
nothing else.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was mad at myself because last week I like just finished cleaning my sheets and then I was hungry and so I ate a sandwich
Oh, you
and then
messed
I
it up.
messed it up. I was like, yo, I just washed these sheets, but it inspired me to get new sheets.
Hey,
And so here we go.
nice
I'm
fresh
excited.
linen.
Nice fresh linen. All right. So let's get into this. You are a multifaceted woman.
Yes, I am.
You have quite the journey.
I have a very amazing and interesting journey
Yes, yes, yes.
that has brought me to today.
All right. So let's get into the beginning because you tackle everything from fashion to finance to real estate to yoga to so many things. But we're gonna start. Let's start at the beginning. Let's start. What inspired you to get started? Like
Life,
life.
life just happening. Honestly speaking, I think I started my first job. I was like 14 years old, so I've always been a worker. My mother is just like, she always showed me what hard work brings you. So I've always been a hard worker. So because I guess I've had so many different jobs and been in so many different fields, I'm like, hold on, I could do this.
Mm.
And
Okay.
and then also the jobs that I've had, it really inspired me to be who I am today as well. Just running certain businesses and doing certain things. Like I know if I can run, and it's funny because my friend just said this to me the other day. It was like, you was 16 years old. I was a manager at McDonald's at 16 years old.
Oh wow.
Talking about opening and
Wow.
closing
Wow.
of McDonald's.
Congratulations.
And it was like, yeah, I'm doing it at that time, but now as I'm older, I'm like, oh, really? I was really 16 years old, and manager at McDonald's, running a whole
Operation.
operation, exactly. So that inspired, all of that inspired me. So that's why I said life, and life was happening. I had my daughter. Certain situations happened, and my first business, which is my second baby, other than my daughter, is crocheting.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. Oh, so okay, with such a start, with such um, high qualifications at such a young age, um, what was it that transitioned you from like someone that developed things for other people, like working with McDonald's, to saying, you know what, this is for me, like these skills and these things are for me.
What made me start thinking that way, working in so there's a journey for me becoming a real estate agent. I know a lot of people, I don't even really talk about me being a real estate agent like that to most people because they're like, hold on, you do yoga, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a realtor as well. But when I was about 18 years old, I used to work at a real estate office.
Mm.
And this was during the recession. Well, what made the recession happen, basically.
Okay, yeah.
And I was working in there during the recession, and it was a small company, Guyanese guy running his business, making good money,
Mhm.
and started as just like the receptionist and worked my way up. By the time I left him, and I say left him because that's a story we can get
Mhm.
into it if we have time. But by the time I stopped working for him, I was like his senior like sales rep and a processor in his company, and I like built his team to like 25 employees
Oh
that
wow.
I was training.
Wow.
So, and I was making money off of all of them.
Mhm.
And he was doing stuff on the back end as well, not giving me all my money, but like just being in those experiences, that's why I said life.
Mhm.
Being in those experiences, it makes me want to do what I want to do. And
Mm.
one of my ultimate goals in life is to be able to have a company that can feed at least 100, and I think grand scale 1,000 employees. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So, and with that, I need a firm. I can't just do regular stuff. I gotta think big. So
Mhm.
my journey, it all makes sense to me. It may not make sense to a lot of people, but it all makes sense to me of why I do what I do.
Listen, that's who it's supposed to make sense to at the end of the day, because people's either gonna help you win or watch you win. So,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, it says that like in 2012, was a very significant year for you.
Yes.
So let's get into that. Let's talk about why 2012 was that year for you.
Well, I that was the year I broke up with my daughter's father.
Oh, okay.
Going through it, I was gonna marry that man. I had my daughter's father.
Mhm.
So, and it was a really really serious experience.
Mm.
And I had to start over. I was living in
Mhm.
Maryland. I had to come back to New York and figure everything out.
Mm.
And I
Okay.
used to crochet, just playing with it. I made certain things, bags, scarves, and stuff like that, just randomly. But I wasn't really selling my stuff.
Mm.
And when I came back, of course, I got to bring all my stuff back. Now I'm going through all my stuff, just unpacking my stuff, and I found my crochet stuff. And I'm
Mm.
like, oh, okay, let me just play with it, just start crocheting. It was really just pastime, and I was in a dark place, a
Mm.
very, very dark place.
Mhm.
And for me, it was like therapy for me. Every time I made something, it was like, oh, I made something. This is nice. It made me feel good.
Mhm.
So those are the things that was making me feel good at the time. And I made a hat, and one of my friends, I just saw her the other day. She supports me through it all. She was like, "Oh, that hat is so nice. Let me make me one, and I'm gonna buy it from you." And I'm like, "For real?" She was like, "Yeah. How much you gonna charge me? Make me one." And I made it for her, and she wore it to work. And then one of her coworkers was like, "Oh, I want one of those. Where you bought that from?" It looks custom made, and the coworker put in the order, and that's how Forever Blessed Creations was created.
Wow, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Because that's actually really amazing. Because I watched this YouTube video a long time ago that helped me like get into like my own journey, and it talked about your first follower, right? Because it says that like one of the most key things in life is your first follower and the support that they give, because the leader is one thing, the leader's already out there doing their thing, but like a lot of people, they watch, like I think they showed it like it was a video of a guy dancing on a beach, and so the guy's just dancing, having his time, and nobody's following, everybody's just watching them, everybody wants to dance, you see them, but they don't, but then the first guy joins in, and that warms it up, and that makes people like, it makes you feel like, I want to be a part of that too, and
Exactly.
somebody already broke the ice, so now I can be a part of that, and then
Exactly.
before you know it, like it's a whole dance party, and
Exactly.
so
That's true.
it really is important. So shout out to your friend, shout out
Yes.
to your friend
Thank
for
you.
supporting you
Yes.
and
Yes.
really starting you on that journey.
Definitely.
So what inspired the name Forever Blessed?
The just the mind that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was a lot happening. Um, I was young. I mean, I wouldn't say I was young, but that was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're in 2022 now, so that was
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago. So I was 24 at the time, and um, I didn't know what was happening.
Mm.
I had a daughter. She was 2 years old, and this was that time when I was like, I'm never going back to that relationship.
Mm.
So I had to figure out life. And I just had to keep telling myself that I was just blessed through it all. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. You're forever blessed. That's something that I just always told myself. I'm forever blessed. Job blessed, blessed. Like, that's something
Mm-hmm.
grew up in the Rastafarian culture. So they say bless a lot. And it was just something that stuck to me. And creating. I love, like, that's me. I'm a creator.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I got into yoga as well too, because that's another art form, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
So and is deeper than art with that. So it's contributes to my journey as well. But it just came to me, forever blessed. And then creations didn't get added on until I made it an official business. And I didn't make it an official business until 2015.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's
2015.
what's up. That's what's up.
So,
Okay. And so before we get into other business, I want to talk about your baby, Forever Blessed Creations, for a little bit. Um, I know you crochet and you've been crocheting for quite a while. What inspires the designs that you make? Like, is it like you look at other fashion stuff? Do you just create off the top of your brain?
yeah.
Do you go through the whole like sketch? Like, how? Like, walk me
Everything.
through your process.
Everything inspires me. If I'm creating, like right now, and honestly, I took a little step back, just a little hiatus on that because I just wanted to. I feel like I'm just on a different level when it comes to that. So I need to be where, like, I just need to put myself in a different bracket. But when it comes to me creating something on my own,
Mm-hmm.
it is everything. Is the fashion, is the timing, it's the season, it's is all of that that comes in one. And honestly, I do create from the heart. So, and crocheting is amazing because you can start. It's not like a piece of cloth that you got to cut and design. Is like you're starting from the foundation and you have to build it up. So
Mm-hmm.
there was like a 2 year span that I was just inspired by bathing suits. So I did a bathing suit line. During the winter time, I focus on hats, scarves, and so it's really about what's fashionable at the time.
Okay. Okay.
That's me creating my own line. But
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, my clients have their own things in mind. They're like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then they do give me a lot of creative control, though. So I do a lot of sketches.
Okay.
So like, I didn't go to fashion school or nothing like that, but like, I'm a creator. I like drawing. I like art, period. So I could sketch, sketch out something real quick and let them see. And I can bring a sketch to life. So that's the amazing thing about crocheting. You can really make anything.
That's amazing. And so now with crocheting, as you said, it's not like a fabric where you cut out, and so that means you really got to put time into your pieces, because I mean you literally create them from scratch,
Yep.
which is amazing.
Yep.
But like, so how do you like how do you because a lot of people just do it as a hobby, a lot of people, it's hard for them, especially with crocheting, to turn it into a business because it becomes demanding when clients like start asking and requesting for things. So like, what is your process of like keeping it fresh, keeping yourself inspired to not get burnt out because you got to make 10 hats or something like that, like.
Honestly, that's why I took a step back.
Okay.
Because it's I like I wanted it to be a business, but I didn't want it to be my all business. And in 2020, um, it was a lot happening. That
Yeah.
brings me into yoga, real estate, and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But and it became demanding. It became a customer want this, and then if I got to order wrong, I got to make a whole nother piece, and that's time consuming.
It is.
So it wasn't fun to me anymore, and that's why I told you I took a step back because now I'm revamping the way how I just approach it, and then two, just being honest, like I had at least 3-4 people, business people, like, you're not pricing yourself right, you're not putting in, saying you're not doing what you're supposed to do on the level that you've been on, like you've been in business now for 5 years, like you got to up it. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, I'm feeling it because life is happening. And I was a full-time entrepreneur at the time. So that's why I took a step back, because it wasn't fun to me anymore. And I had to get that funness back. Because like you said, a lot of people do it as a hobby. And for you to create something like that, it has to, you can't, I'm not effective in creating something if I don't feel good about it.
Okay. I
So,
definitely understand that, and that's beautiful. And I'm glad that you had the self awareness to not only to step back but also to pivot, because that's the next thing I want to talk about is the pivot. So yeah, kudos to you for that. And now with 2020 coming and the pivot, you found yourself in a lot of spaces. In a lot of spaces.
Yeah, I got a
And,
journey.
and, and so I want to get into that. Like,
Hmm.
I know there's the real estate, I know there's yoga. And so, like, walk me through, like, this pivot and how you ended up in all these new spaces and how you
Hmm.
decided to explore it.
I feel like I'm a very deep, in tune person. So,
Mm-hmm.
often for me, I turn pain into passion.
Mm.
So, I was just going through a lot. It's crazy because before the pandemic happened and everything, I was like experiencing my own stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually started from 2019.
Okay.
So it brings it into real estate. So I was, in a house. It was a situation that happened with the house. To sum it up, the house got flipped in front of my face within 18 months, and the person who flipped it made it like a good $100,000 off of that flip.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I know this. I'm like, I know this. I've been there before. I've been in this game. Like, I know this. I need to get close to the source, and I need to get back into real estate so I can be doing the same thing that they're doing, because I just got this house taken away from me,
Mm.
basically. So that happened in 2019 going into 2020. And I found yoga. I've always dipped and dabbled in yoga. But I was on a journey. I think
Mm-hmm.
I was on a journey from 2012 up until now. Till this day, I'm still on a journey. And for me, yoga is my health.
Mm.
Everyone needs to find something that keeps them healthy and keeps
Mm-hmm.
them going. So for me, yoga is my health. And I became me becoming a yoga instructor. It fell on my lap. It literally fell on my lap. I wasn't thinking about being a yoga instructor or nothing. I was just practicing, doing my thing, researching, getting deeper into it, and I found a scholarship program
Mm.
that was offering, actually specifically, black people the opportunity to get their yoga instructor license because
Mm.
of everything that was going on in 2020
Yeah.
with the whole Black Lives Matter and everything. And it was like, we're not, we don't, you can't
Yeah. There's
go
no
anywhere
representation.
in
Yeah.
our neighborhood and say, let's go do yoga at this studio. I could go to
Mm-hmm.
Flushing and find 3, 4 yoga studios.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, I'm on this because I just love my community. I do love my community. I do have a passion just to give, to just share everything that I know,
Mm-hmm.
because I've been through so much. So I took advantage of that opportunity, and that's how I became a yoga instructor.
Ah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of yoga do you like to do the best? Like, what's your favorite?
So I'm trained in Vinyasa style yoga.
Mm-hmm.
So Vinyasa style, it's a flow. It's more so it takes you through certain stages. It takes you through a journey, and is mainly about linking the breath with movement.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm trained in Vinyasa style yoga. So that's what I love. But I feel like I'm gonna always be on this journey because yoga is life.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm exploring so many different types of yoga. Right now I'm studying Tantra yoga. I'm studying Hatha yoga. I'm studying all of those different types of yogas to like be more effective for my students.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. That is amazing. Um, and so there's yoga. Um, and we still have real estate to talk about,
Yeah,
and we still have debt specialists to talk about.
yeah, which goes hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. So walk me through your journey on a real estate agent.
So I'm really I've fresh in that in becoming a licensed real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been in the I've known real estate for years upon years. Like I was mentioned earlier, when I was 18 years old,
Yep. And you
I
used
was
to work
working in
at
a
the.
real estate
Mm-hmm.
company, and this is 2007, 2008, 2009. I had my daughter in 2009, and that's when I stopped working there. So this is at the height of the recession. This
Mm-hmm.
is when everything was happening. Like, so I found out a lot of little ins and outs about how the real estate market works,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just money in there.
So
And
much.
honestly, a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, he was like, yo, we was like randomly talking 2020, randomly talking one day. He was like, yo, you should get your real estate license. And I was like, that's true, because we were talking about the situation with the house that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, yeah, get your real estate license. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And I just went and got it because I know the industry. I worked in a company for years,
Yeah.
and I'm also a certified debt specialist.
Yep.
So it goes hand in hand. So again, just wanting during this is the heights of 2020 when everybody was going crazy. I was like, let me take a step back and figure out what to do because I just had to keep focus on something. So I said,
Mm-hmm.
all right, let me study real estate and yoga, and I just went in and studied the two,
Okay.
and that's how I became a real estate agent. So as far as me being a certified debt specialist, that's been my 9 to 5 for the past 6.5 years. I do all types of things and everything entrepreneur, but I have a daughter, so I always keep a 9 to 5.
Uh-huh.
I literally don't sleep. People like how you do all types of things. I flex my schedule. Even with this past summer, I was working with 2 summer camps.
Oh,
So,
two? Girl, you crazy. I don't know how you can do it. I
it's
did one,
fun.
and them kids be killing me. I'm going home ready to sleep.
But you see that, oh, yeah, trust me, I was feeling like that after them. But I do yoga with them, so I'm only there for like an hour or two.
Ah, okay. That makes a lot more sense. You're there for the yoga instruction, not because you're okay. You don't have to run around with them
Exactly.
kids all day. Okay,
Exactly.
I had to run around with them kids all day. Okay.
Exactly. So that's the good thing about yoga is it's fun, but it's such a high demand for us, so I can price myself,
That's a fact.
which is one of the best positions you could ever be in life. And that's why I tapped into yoga and real estate because being a certified debt specialist, again, it's all a journey. It makes sense, but just bringing it full circle, is really a sales job. And I've worked with companies where I've made them like we've been there making them millions and millions of dollars. And I'm like, we can do this too. Like my community, my peoples, can I show y'all a little bit about this game so we could tap in? So that's my full journey. My ultimate goal in life is to just make sure I educate everyone around me because I do have a lot of knowledge. Just little small things like when with the house situation, they basically to how can I explain it in the quickest way? They bought the house at the auction for 350,000. I'm just gonna throw the numbers out there just to make it make sense real quick. So they bought the house at the auction for 350,000.
Was it a fix and flip?
They sold the house within 18 months for 560,000.
Oh, then they probably only put on like 100,000.
They took out a mortgage on the house for 400,000. But this is the key thing right now, right? So I just wanted to say from that end to this end, the key thing that they did, and I was literally following this house, right? Was put the deed in an LLC name.
Yeah.
The LLC was the address to the house. So they developed an LLC just to take out a
flip the
loan,
house, yeah.
just to take out a $400,000 loan. Got it for 350, 400,000. They already up 50,000. Put that into the house real quick, fix it up real quick, put it back on the market for 650. End up selling for 560. You still up 160,000.
Yep.
18 months.
Yep. And in today's market, you wouldn't even need 18 months. Once you finish, you don't even have to finish half of construction before somebody's gonna put an offer on the house.
Exactly.
Because that's the real estate market we're in today. So that is amazing. All right, so I got a few rapid fire questions about your real estate journey.
Okay.
One, do you like rentals or property owning?
Well, me personally,
Well, to work in, like to work. Would you rather?
I mean,
you rather
rentals
do
is
rentals?
hard, yes, but I rather rentals, especially. I like working with rentals, especially in New York City because of just the climate of New York City.
Everybody need a place to live.
Yeah, everyone needs a place to live, so it's more common to, and that's why with me being a certified debt specialist, it makes sense with real estate because I know how to clean up credit. I know how to that's what I do. I tell people what to do with their money all day, every day.
Tap
So-
in. Trust me, I tell
So
you.
even if I get a rental client, I'll keep them. I can keep them harbor, basically massage them until they able to buy a house and flip them into a buyer client. So you just got to look at it that way.
Okay, dope. All right, next thing. For projects that you like to work with, do you like working with houses or you like working with buildings?
Houses.
Houses. Do you like working with single owners or do you like working with companies?
Companies is where the money is at.
Mm.
So I haven't had the opportunity to work with companies as yet, but
Mm-hmm.
I will say single owners, but companies is one of that's my goal
Okay. In the boroughs or outside the boroughs?
in the boroughs.
In the boroughs. What's your favorite borough to work in?
Queens. I'm a Queens
Queens.
girl. I
Oh,
know
okay. Oh, yeah, you
Queens.
from Southside.
Yeah.
Shout out to Southside. We
Of
outside.
course. Queens is beautiful.
It is. It is mad far,
And
but
it's a lot of real estate there though.
there is, there is, there
A lot
is,
of real
there
estate.
is.
And there's a lot changing in Queens.
It
So
is.
that's why even right now, that's why I tapped into the market because there's a lot going on, especially in Southside. And that's why I'm just like, my peoples, can we just get together? Because they put their money together and they buying up all of these properties because there's a lot coming to Queens. There's a lot coming here. You just pay attention to what they're doing to Jamaica Avenue. Once they put a Starbucks in your neighborhood, you
It's
understand what's
clipped.
happening.
Yo, the minute a Starbucks goes in your neighborhood, here's what three things that happen. Three things that happen. One, joggers start showing up. Two, rent just starts going up. And then three, the shade of the people on the public transportation starts declining rapidly. Like rapidly, okay? And then when you start looking for places, this is a bonus, then they start asking for like 40 times the rent.
That's it right now. Like New York
so-
City is crazy, but at the same time, we got to understand the market. Like I feel like we have to flip the mental when it comes to New York, and especially tap in and look at it from their point of view instead of us looking at it. Oh, they coming and taking over our neighborhood. Well, we're here already, so why we can't, keep buying up the places and do what we got to do. The number one thing that people got to understand that's happening in Queens within the next couple of years is they're building the air train from LaGuardia Airport to Jamaica Center. That's going to be the first quick transportation from LaGuardia. There's no train line that goes directly to LaGuardia.
Nope, you gotta take a bus. That's why I hate flying.
Exactly. But
hate flying out of
transportation, trust me too. And I'm right by JFK, so I'm
Yeah.
5 minutes from JFK. And LaGuardia is just complicated, but they're revamping it all. And that air train from Jamaica to it's investors' paradise.
Yeah, they're gonna change.
That's why Jamaica Avenue, you look now, they're building up all types of apartment
Hotels
buildings,
and,
hotels, and all that stuff because now the travelers don't have to go to the city and they don't have to go, they can stay in Queens. So all those houses that's all around, all those things that's going up, even like 40 projects. We watched Jay-Z talk about that happening in Brooklyn a couple of years ago when they was building up the Barclays Center and him letting go. Now you can get right outside of the projects over there. The apartment buildings are crazy. Sometimes the rent is like $5,000 over there for a one bedroom.
For a one bedroom, it's crazy. It's insane. So I'm glad you brought that up because I've been watching the real estate market for the last 10 years. I've dipped and dabbled as like a property scout and working with different real estate agents and stuff like that. And so I'm always very interested in like watching the behind the scenes of gentrification, of like how the zoning changes in the neighborhood and things go from R2s to R6s and then like commercial properties are allowed to be in certain spaces where it didn't exist anymore, and property taxes going up under people's feet, and it's a lot of fun things and not so fun things that happen as they happen. But I'm glad that you talked about the information and sharing the information, because I feel like that's the biggest problem that happens in New York is there's people that are homeowners, but they don't have any knowledge of what's happening in their neighborhood, what's changing in their neighborhood, and so people forget that community boards exist. Like, people forget that they can veto things happening in their neighborhood.
They forget that.
And so people come in fly by night and change your whole neighborhood. And you're like, what happened? I'm like, well, they had a community board.
They had a city council meeting. They had this. They had that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and, you could have went. I know, granted, yes, they move them on a Tuesday night at 8 p.m. because they know you can't make it. But proxies are a thing. People can organize. Votes are a thing. Like, there are ways. The system is built to use and to be exploited.
Exactly. I agree with that. That's why I said let me get a real estate license.
I gotta tap in with you because I gotta send some people your way.
That's why I said let me get a real estate license because, like you just said, the system is. And for me, I'm always a person. I mean, I come from a different. I got to get as close to the source as possible. So me, I can do real estate. I can do all types of stuff. But me holding a license now, I have a certain responsibility, and I have, certain access to certain things. And trust me, that's not where I'm stopping at. I just got that now, so I could build my start building my firm where I need to be. But it's so much to do, and like with the, like you was talking about, like people not knowing what they're capable of doing. If you own property and you pay property taxes, you're supposed to be tapped in because you pay for everything in your community.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people, you pay taxes, you should pay attention.
You should pay
because
attention.
it's your money. Like literally, you are paying for it. When your police department doesn't work,
you're paying for that.
When your schools don't work, you're paying for that. Like,
and that's why I honestly love my grandmother's, like where my grandmother house is. My grandmother did the house been in the family now for 20 years. Because there's a lot of black owners around there. Everybody own their houses, families, and they've been there for so long. And they're like that. They don't play that. Listen, if something is happening, is a lady that lives there, she'll come around and start telling all the neighbors, like, listen, we have to go to the community board. She'll make flyers and everything, and I love that. Because honestly, when you go to different neighborhoods, if you go to like Valley Stream, Great Neck, you go to those areas out there, those schools and they don't play that. If something happens in their community.
Yeah, I know. It was a contrast for me in my life living between Park Slope and Flatbush, where Flatbush, it's a lot of renters and and everybody's just trying to make it by, and they live in Park Slope and people are like, yo, hold up, they're opening a bodega, and I don't know who owning that bodega. We are having a community board meeting, and they need to drop that, and I'm like, damn, well, sheesh.
I had this conversation the other day because right now. Just to tap in real quick, and I'm a talk about it as so right now, weed is legal.
Yes.
Okay. Period. Within the next couple of years, who's gonna own and you gonna mark my words.
Oh no, I know.
Revisit this.
I know. Trust me. I know. I studied the cannabis industry. I know.
You know who gonna own New York weed game?
Them whites, them corporations.
The corporations, but honestly speaking, you know who really setting up right now? All them Arabs that own the corner store.
Oh yeah, them too. Definitely. Trust me. Yes.
All of them that own the corner, they're buying it up right now. They're opening spoke shops all over the place. They're doing all of this stuff. And if you study the laws, again, I love studying laws and stuff like that. If you study the laws, you have to at least have an operating business in order for you to apply for the application.
Yep,
so if you hustling on the block, you already behind because the Arabs already got like 3 businesses they operate.
Because you got to be able to show that you can handle the financial.
You can, exactly. So they're gonna own this, and it sickens me to know that this is happening, and you got the wee man that's been hustling for so long, and you're not gonna be able to get in the game.
It's funny. Like literally for like the first 6 months of this year, I've been the town crier of get yourself ready, and at this point I'm tired. I'm just doing it myself and helping who listens to me, because like I've been the town crier. Literally, I would watch all of the Cannabis Control Board meetings and then go on Facebook or go on my groups and be like, yo, this is what's happening. They're releasing the conditional use. This is what this. And people be like, yeah, I want to get in the game. And I'm like, and you're not understanding what's happening.
You're not understanding what's happening
like
in New York City. And we're just gonna lose it.
And not in New York City, in the whole state. Like, farms are bussing upstate. Like, people are really setting down because,
and it's gonna trickle down to New York, and they going, and because this is where the money is. This is where
you need to sell your product.
And then you have to understand, it's gonna be a change of the game. Period. Because it's not about just you want to support the regular weed man on it. No, if I can go in a store and have a different experience, I'm gonna go in the store and have a different experience,
and especially
rather than me go to the.
Yeah, rather than supporting just a regular guy, and especially because with the experience, you get variety that just doesn't exist. The dispensary, even though, again, the one thing that will save the gray market is taxes, because they will tax the fuck out of this weed. I'm not even gonna play.
That's true.
That's the one thing, because California had to deal with that, where they literally had to stop the taxes because they realized they wasn't gonna be able to compete. And so I could get into this. Trust me and cannabis game. Ooh. But the one thing I say though is I tell people like, yo, you gotta get yourself ready, because this right now is the same as the end of prohibition in alcohol. And there are companies like Hennessy, like Moet Chandon, which owns Hennessy, like Jack Daniels and all that stuff, that were formed after the end of prohibition, that you still drink today, you know.
Exactly.
That you still drink today. And you have a chance now to watch an entire market emerge, that you can set yourself up
Set yourself up
for generations.
Okay.
And you know, people, I'm a huge advocate for giving information to the people. I mean, that's why I have this radio show.
Yeah.
But I realize I can only help people who want to be helped.
Yep, I agree.
Which is a sad thing.
I agree.
Because I wish I could just beat people over the head.
I know, me too.
Like, go sign up.
Me too.
Go do that thing.
I'm the
Come
same
back
way.
to me. Here's the paperwork. Put your damn
But you
signature.
know what? Experience is the greatest teacher, unfortunately, and people, and then oftentimes people don't. But then with this game, it's gonna be too late, and then you're gonna complain about the system put in place against you. Well, listen, you had a chance.
And don't get me wrong, the system is always gonna play against you. But
You gotta know how to play with it, though. You gotta know how to play it.
I tell people all the time, like, stop trying to take advantage of stuff that is meant for us, and start taking advantage of stuff that's not meant for us. Why? Because every time we take advantage of stuff that's meant for us, they can stop it because it's not meant for them. But when we start using their stuff, they will never cut off their own bag to spite us, which is why LLCs will forever, and S corps and corporations will forever run up the bag, because they use that. That's their vehicles. So, like, that's why IRAs and 401ks and Roth IRAs and all these things can always exist, because that's their vehicles. They're not going to shoot their own foot and themselves in the foot. So use the things that people use. That's why real estate will always be hot. Always, 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 always. That's why we live in a housing crisis, and yet they're still letting people form new real estate companies, because they know at the end of the day that's how they make their money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But you gotta tap into understanding, and again, why I love me saying let me go learn it more. All right, I know surface things, but let me go tap in on the back end and just understanding how everything was formed. Like you said, yeah, we have a journey through life, and I mean through just history, period. Right? Our country, we already know we've just been through a lot. So understanding what they have done to make themselves better is like, okay, it's still available to me though. Even though it may not be available at the capacity that they have it, but it's still available to me, and it's available to you too. So figure it out instead of you trying to fight against it. Figure it out and tap in, and then take advantage of it.
Take advantage. That's the only way it's really going to change, because it wasn't until black people started carrying guns that guns laws in America started changing. So you want to fix things? Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it.
Even right now, this is a time to take advantage of things, believe it or not. You see, they're telling us, and this is why I don't like media most times, because they're telling us we're in a recession, but things are still moving and things are still happening. So that's just the economy. If you study how the economy works, everything that goes up got to come back down, and it's going to go right back up.
Millionaires are made, so.
And me becoming a certified debt specialist, I didn't become it in a recession, but again, just my journey or whatever. But that particular company was formed during the last recession. Everybody was losing their houses. Everybody was falling behind on their credit cards. Nobody had no money. So companies were trying to figure out, okay, we can't sell them houses, or we can't sell them this, and we can't sell them that. How do we adjust and adapt to the times in order for us to do what we're doing? And that's why, for me, I love what I do. And I said, okay, let me take my knowledge of being a certified debt specialist and tell my clients on on a real estate end, this is how you fix your credit. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. There's a lot of real estate agents that don't know how to fix credit.
That's a fact. They outsource.
They outsource. Oh yeah, nah, you come to me. One-stop shop. I know how to fix credit. I know I'm just not certified yet, but I know tax, and I don't even want to be certified in that, because I got a homegirl that I'm about to, I'm on some recruiting. Like, listen, this is LBH Money Matters. We got it. It's gonna be a one-stop shop for all of your money matters.
Mm-hmm.
You can get your real estate, you can get your taxes done, you can get your life insurance, you can get this, you can get that. Everything. Mortgage brokers, I know someone who does it all if I can't do it myself. But that's just about making sure that the client has that experience. My journey. Big on customer service. I don't work for McDonald's, Starbucks, this, that, and the third. So I know customer service is key. These companies stay successful because of their customer service. You know, you can go there and you can get the same thing. You can go to this Starbucks and get one thing, get a smile and get whatever you get. You can go to that Starbucks and get the same thing. Chick-fil-A, you know, you go to Chick-fil-A's, they smile, they know your name, this, that. These are consistent things. So if you're being a Black-owned business, this is how you stay consistent. And my goal is to have 1,000 employees, so I just always think on that grand scale.
That's what's up.
So that's why it all makes sense.
That's what's up. I want to talk about the debt specialist real quick before we, get into what's next. There's a lot of people out there that don't understand how money works in America. A lot of people, and I mean, at this point, I don't blame anyone. Because I mean,
we're not taught.
Yeah, that's the long and short of it. A lot of people. I mean, when you grow up in poverty, you grow up with a scarcity mindset around money, and they don't teach you that, like, the way how most of these people get rich is because they're flipping their debt and their
They
credit.
know how to move money around. Period.
And it's funny. I just had this the other day where, like, so my biggest goal in life is to run a motorcycle racetrack, like a full, like, stadium type motorcycle racetrack. And so I think, like, I had, like, my business that I run now, I spent $10,000, and I was like, oh my gosh, I spent $10,000, I invested this and that, and I'm like, if I want to run a motorcycle racetrack, like, my expense sheet's gonna be $10,000 in like 5 minutes. Like, I'm gonna be having like $100,000 days that I have to spend money on, so I cannot be afraid to spend $10,000, to spend $5,000, to spend $20 now. Like, obviously don't be reckless with your money, but, like, you can't be afraid to take a risk, like, at all.
You gotta know how to move money around.
Because again, our last president, not this president, but the last president of the United States was how many millions and billion dollars in debt, and he flipped the presidency into making bread. So, like, that's how it goes.
Exactly. That's true.
I'm
He
telling
another
you.
one to study. I mean, I know a lot of people can't stand him, but at the end of the day, when you study his money moves, he's an a-hole by just by default. But he does things as far as paying attention to how the system works.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Granted, he is quite unethical.
Very.
So please,
Very
please,
unethical.
If you're listening to us, please do ethical business practices.
No, yeah, and for him, he's a snake. He does like underhanded business and stuff like
he's
that. But
foul.
then,
He
as
don't pay
far
his
as
workers, he's foul.
yeah,
But
as far as recognizing that you're in a bad situation and realizing that, oh shoot, I need to make a move to make sure that I'm protected, then those are things you can understand
that's
about him.
definitely you
It
gotta
may
learn.
not be ethical, because he's snaking people.
But learn how to watch his tactic and use them in, as I like to call them, yellow flag situations instead of red flag situations. Because
It's
everybody
integrity.
likes to wait. Everybody likes to wait till everything is bad to have to fix it. But if you use certain techniques while things are still in the gray area,
Tell my clients all the
You can
time,
move
being
a lot
proactive
faster.
rather than reactive.
yes.
Because if
yes,
you
yes.
recognize you're in a financial, because what I do is basically I help people get out of debt. Most of the people that come to me, they're in a financial hardship. And right now, I've been in the industry for 6.5 years. So right now, everybody is in a hardship.
Yep.
Because the whole country
Recession,
is just messed up.
losing
We just
money,
went through a
plus
pandemic. Like, we
pandemic.
all went through it collectively. So,
We all losing money. And
we all.
inflation.
It's true. Inflation, taxes are going up. It's just a lot going. I mean, interest rates are going up. It's just a lot happening, and we're not making the money. Remember, a lot of people was out of work for 2.5 years. They were getting this money, free money, and was not preparing themselves. So that's what it was. But like you said, look, I can say so many lines that I tell my clients on a regular basis. It's so easy to get into that, but no one tells us how to get out
How to
of
get
that.
out of that.
As soon as you turn 18 years old and you go to college, discovers the first one that's going to send you a credit card bill. Especially if your mama ain't put a bill in your name when you was younger and your credit is okay.
Yeah.
Discover is the first one because
They
at
hit
the
me
end of
quick.
the day, they have our information. People don't know they have our profiles.
Yeah.
You understand? We're plotted on from we're born. So with them having that profile, and once you
Makes it
get to
worse
that
with the
school,
internet now. 'Cause they have
exactly,
all your data. They know
exactly.
they're gonna send you a card because you looked up travel 3 times, and they're gonna be like, oh, well, here's our travel rewards points.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what they do.
Uh-huh.
And they know how to get everyone. So most college students start in friggin' college with debt. You know, and that's
Student
especially
loan
like you
debt,
said,
it
if is the scarcity mindset. I'm talking about people who don't have it most of the time. I could have a conversation with someone who has $7,000 in debt, and that conversation is me trying to explain to them, like, listen, you cannot pay these bills. Like, what are you gonna do? And then I can have a conversation with someone in $100,000 in debt, and they're like, yeah, I know what I need to do to just get this, because at the end of the day, I'm not stressing myself about interest for the next 7 to 10 years.
7 to 10 years.
You understand what I'm saying? So I need to do this right now, do what I got to do. My credit going to flip and do what I got to do. I'll pay attention to that later. This is what's going on with my money.
Okay, so I have a question. So for those that's listening right now, right, what would be 3 tips you would say to get a hold of your credit right now?
Number one, you can't have nothing negative on your credit. That's the main thing. So if you have any collection accounts, late payments, all of those, anything that's negative, of course, that's the first step, is cleaning that up, because it makes no sense. I mean, you can always do positive and negative, is, balance it out. But if it's also what you want to do with your credit as well, right?
Okay. That is definitely true. About preparing your credit, because a lot of people don't understand, one, that all these credit reporting agencies, there's a whole bunch of them, and like knowing how to prepare what score for what you want is a big thing, and people don't realize that.
They don't realize that. People think that credit is just about, okay, I pay my bills on time and this is what they're reporting, and oh shoot, my credit is going down, so oh my gosh, I need to do something. But like, what are you doing with your credit? You understand? And that's why for me, as I'm a certified debt specialist, so I can tell you about bankruptcy. I can tell you about paying your credit off on your own. I can tell you about, oh shoot, if you fell behind and you have collection accounts, how to get them paid off, how to get them, whatever, to get them dealt with. Like, I'm trained in every part of getting yourself out of debt, getting you out of debt. And there's different options. So that's why I said it's always about what you're doing with your credit. Because if I'm not going to make a major purchase with my credit, and how's the best way to explain it? Because it's catch-22 when it comes to it all, right? If I have debt, right, and I'm also going through whatever financial hardships I'm going through, right, and I'm fighting to pay off my debt, but I can't pay off my debt, fighting, and my credit is just going down, then you're just beating a dead horse, right? You have to now make a decision on your money rather than your credit, because your credit is already fucked up, right? And your money is just being eaten up by these credit card companies. So if you're in that position, there's certain decisions that you have to make, whether it be, listen, I got to file bankruptcy and just start over, or whether it be you do a debt consolidation program, which is something that I do, debt settlement, consolidation loans, is different options. So that's as far as getting out of debt. And it's all about what's your goals. What are you trying to do with your credit? Are you trying to buy a house? Are you trying to buy a car? Are you trying to buy this? Are you trying to buy that? Because then there's there's different avenues. That's why I'm not a credit specialist.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
I don't just focus on your credit, because most people say, oh, I know I do credit repair. Okay. Well, these people be charging you your money, and they don't be getting all them debts off of your credit. And next thing you know, you get sued, or you get this and you get that. People don't understand those aspects. You understand? But I can talk to you as far as go deep. Oh, Discover is going to give you this, and Discover is going to be able to do that. So go to Discover, speak to them, tell them to do this for you, lower your payments or lower your interest for the next 18 months. Now take that money that you're putting here, you understand what I'm saying? I know how to tell you about your money. It goes deeper than just your credit. Your credit just gives me a picture, but it also tells me what you're doing wrong too.
Doing wrong, yeah.
you know.
I respect that. That's beautiful. That's
So
beautiful.
is it?
It definitely is about money management, and it is about exactly like having a goal and figuring out exactly what you want to go, and then setting yourself up for that goal. I mean, that's 99% of life in general, and moving through worlds is coming up with a plan, making sure you execute it, and checking that shit because you're gonna miss a couple steps, and you got to make sure that you do it all.
Exactly.
So yeah, people definitely should be setting themselves up. Question then, with all that you do, with all the amazing journey that arrives you to this point, where you have all this knowledge, and to be honest, all these resources and connections, like what are you planning to do with it? Like, what's next for you?
So I mean, Forever Blessed Creations is my baby.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm I that's my health side,
Mm.
right? Because believe it or not, even with crocheting, it's therapeutic, it's fashion, is design, fashion design, art, all of that. It's just about being feeling good, looking good, all of that. And I'm tying it into yoga as well. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like yoga is gonna always be my part time have fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, even though I make it a business, it doesn't feel like a business to me.
Mm.
I work with the summer camps. This is the second summer that I work with the summer camps, and I'm teaching the babies how to do yoga,
Yeah, I
like
was
how
gonna
to
say.
meditate.
I was gonna say because I used to work at a daycare and the kids were doing yoga at like 3 years old. So I was like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's amazing. And they love it. They really come. They're really in tune with it.
Uh
So
huh.
that right there, just alone, makes me feel good.
Mm.
So that's the health side. So is the health and wealth. I have a balance of it all. So the health side is the yoga, my crocheting. Crocheting, I took a step back because I always wanted to be a hobby of mine. I want some that I feel like I'm gonna be older, sitting in my big ass house by the pool, just crocheting the blanket for my grandkids or something like that. So I want to always have that feeling
Mm.
for
Okay.
that. So right now, I have fun with my crochet. If I get an order, hey, I make it and keep it moving. Allocate my time to make it, and then my yoga classes. That's my that's a lot to me right now because I want everyone to have that mental balance, because I'm gonna always do business. I'm gonna always have my 9 to 5. Like I speak business fluently.
Mm.
I'm gonna always be a real estate agent. I'm gonna always do that because my ultimate goal in life is to build that company.
Mm-hmm.
So yoga keeps me balanced.
Mm.
So what's next? Continue to have yoga classes and do it on a scale that I feel comfortable and happy,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't feel forced.
Mm.
So I have 3 to 4 classes a month, whatever the case might be, and just keep it like that, and continue to build my real estate business. And it's more so. I wouldn't say it's just a real estate business because the name of my financial services side is LBH Money Matters. So it's
What does
just
LBH stand for?
is two different. Let's be honest, money matters.
Ah, okay. I like that. I like that. I like that because we got to be honest about our money. That's the only thing.
Exactly. You got to be honest about your money.
I like that.
So let's be honest, money matters. So, and that's why I started with credit matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, we talk money. It's not just credit.
Right.
Because even with your credit, you got to learn how to use your credit to make you more money.
Uh huh.
That's why I
And
say, what
business
is it
credit
that
is a
you wanna,
beautiful thing.
what you wanna do with your credit? Because is all about your goals. So yes, so it's just about building, continuing to build. On the real estate side, continue to build on the credit side. I do have this credit repair program that I'm launching, and it's free. I'm gonna fix your credit for free, but you have to commit to
The whole program.
the whole program, and the program is ultimately you purchasing a home.
That is amazing.
So
All my peoples, y'all better tap the fucking. I will beat you up if I hear that you're 6 months from now your credit's still fucked up because you didn't tap in and you're not on this journey to getting yourself a house. I'm gonna beat you the fuck up because we provided the resources. So tell people where to find you because I need them to know where the hell to go.
okay,
Because
Lioness Bella _ So that is my main IG. Lioness Bella _ You can email me at Tanisha James. That's TENEESHAJAMES. Tanisha James at KW.com. So that is my real estate email.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a website. I mean, on my Lioness Bella page, I have links to everything there. You
Mm-hmm.
can get to if I'm having my yoga classes, I'm always posting my yoga classes on there. I have a links to my real estate page. But like I said, I don't really do a lot of real estate online. I'm more so networking with that.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I just want to be more intimate with that. I do post a here and there, but I'll get to that point. I feel like I just got to get more comfortable. That's just my own little, in my head thing. So Lioness Bella underscore, Lioness Bella underscore. That's my IG.
Got you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This has been amazing. Thank you for being here. I love
Thank
this
you for having
conversation.
me.
I'm definitely gonna tap in with you on 99% of the things you do because I love all of it. I
Thank you.
definitely want to expand the resources, and a lot of people can use what you do. So that's amazing. So thank you again. For those that don't know, I don't know how you don't know because it's Monday. That means we're on the Make a Mogul show, and I'm Vijano. You can find me at VE_JANO. I'm the only Vijano, so if you didn't find me, you ain't look hard enough. And we're here on Extreme 104 FM. Shout out to Dime. Shout out to the whole squad. Kanika's up next, dropping the tea, so stay tuned. And we are out of here, baby.